What's up? Welcome to your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Tuesday. It's a two for Tuesday. Not really. I don't know. That's just embedded in my brain from, I don't know, 104.7 up in Toledo back in the day. I always had a two for Tuesday. Rock and roll. Anyway, hey, please visit the buckeyecast.com. The shop is wide ass open. You can also shop right below this video if you're watching on YouTube. We are loading more shirts and designs, and um, got those big travel mugs, big 14-ouncer in there. I think they fit in your car cup holders, so you can. But be careful. You might hit a bump and spill the drink. Anyway, so we're talking spring recap. One more position group to finish up with. The big uglies, the hogs, the O-line up front. Getting into the trenches here with these guys. We're going to talk some spring snap counts. We could talk some snap counts from last year and some PFF grades if we dare. Yes, we dare. So, and we'll do an overview and how things are looking coming out of spring. So let's get into it. Buckeyes depth chart across the offensive line, starting at left tackle. You got Josh Simmons. He's a fourth-year guy going into 2024, a redshirt junior. Then you got behind him, you got a couple of guys that haven't really seen much action. Zen Maholski, he's a redshirt junior as well. And George Fitzpatrick, redshirt sophomore. One of those two is probably backing up Simmons. And then you got the true freshman Deontay Armstrong of the world-famous Armstrong twins. Left guard, Donovan Jackson, obviously your senior coming back. But behind him, Austin Saraveld, redshirt freshman, so second-year guy, making the leap up into the two deep. That rhymes. I didn't even try that. And behind him, you have the other Armstrong twin, Devontae, at left guard. At center, I got Seth McLaughlin, the starter. You don't bring in an Alabama transfer that's started 25 games. He's a redshirt senior, so a fifth-year guy. Yeah, he's your starter. I don't see any way anybody on the team unseats him. So, but behind him, you got to have Carson Hinsman, right? Played 12 games last year. Redshirt sophomore, so going into his third year. Then you got Josh Padilla, redshirt freshman, so second-year guy, inching up the depth chart there. And behind him, you have Toby Wilson, Kevin Wilson's son, redshirt junior, so a fourth-year guy there as well. And he's no longer a walk-on. He's on scholarship from my research. Right guard, I got a three-way battle. I'm not happy about it, but it's the way things played out in spring. You got Luke Montgomery, the sophomore, second-year dude. Then you got Tegra Shabola, redshirt sophomore, going into his third year. He's looking for some reps, some playing time. And then you got, again, Carson Hinsman, the redshirt sophomore. So three-way battle. It's going to go into fall camp, it looks like. I don't know what to think there. And then, of course, you did have Enoch Vamahi penciled in there at backup for the right guard, but he transferred out. Right tackle, Josh Fryar seems to be the incumbent. He has not really been pushed, it seems, or knocked off of that starting job. So Josh Fryar, redshirt senior, fifth-year guy. Behind him, I got Tegra, redshirt sophomore again. Then I got two freshmen. Ian Moore is a true freshman. And behind him, Miles Walker, the second-year redshirt freshman. So lots of dudes in there to talk about. Let me get my trusty snap counts up here from last season, and then we'll talk some spring snap counts. O-line. So Josh Simmons and Donovan Jackson, Josh Fryar all led the way. I think they played every single snap on offense. 825, each of them, all three of them. 825 snaps on the year. Matt Jones was right up there behind him, but he's gone. Carson Hinsman, 758, did not even play in the Cotton Bowl. So In 12 games, he played 758 snaps. Otherwise, he probably would have been up there with Jackson, Fryar, and Simmons. But anyways, then you got quite a fall off after you talk about those four guys that are returning from last year as starters. Luke Montgomery, just 44 snaps. He did play quite a bit of special teams. Actually, yeah, when he was not in the game, he was on special teams. So when he was not on offense. So 44 snaps, though, on offense. Tegra, only 32 snaps and a bunch of special teams work. And Fitzpatrick had six. So that's what we're looking at. Anyway, the spring game snap counts. Let's run through those real quick because you had a lot of guys getting some action there. Austin Sarabeld, the redshirt freshman, second-year dude, climbing up the depth chart, led the way with 52 offensive snaps. Josh Padilla, 50. Same recruiting class, by the way. Fitzpatrick, 47. Deontay Armstrong, 46. Ian Moore, the true freshman, 46. Hinsman, 45. Luke Montgomery, 44. Tegra, 43. So that group of three right in there battling for that right guard job all got plenty of snaps. And then you had Zen Mahalski, 41. We think he's working in there at the left tackle. And Simmons, 28. They didn't need to see a lot out of him. Donovan Jackson, 28. Didn't need to see much out of him. Josh Fryar, same. And then McLaughlin, just 20. You didn't need to see a ton from him. So, and then finishing up, Devontae Armstrong just had 6. So that kind of gives you an idea of who's most important, I would say, in the first team, second team. The first team guys got the minimal reps. The second and third string guys that are battling for spots got most of the reps in the spring game. So makes sense, right? Now let's look at some PFF grades from 2023. Brace yourselves. Are you sitting down? I hope so. You might want to pour something strong. No ice. Okay. So let's start with, we're going by snap counts here. Donovan Jackson, your left guard. Not a bad season. Pass blocking, a 72.7. Run blocking, a 67.3. That was an issue. Josh Fryar, pass blocking, 68.7. We've talked about him quite a bit. And 76 run blocking, so much better in the running game. So the opposite of Donovan Jackson, basically. Then Josh Simmons. Again, these three guys led the way with the snap counts last year. Simmons had a 71.9 pass blocking and a 65.8 run blocking. So if we could ever get these guys up over 70 and everything, I think we'd be fucking cooking with gas, you know? And then Hinsman at center. This is why we had to go get a transfer. And thank God somebody from Alabama wasn't there. Hinsman, 42.4 pass block, a 54.8 run block. Pathetic, terrible, hate it. Anyways, these guys with minimal snaps, I'll read off quickly. Luke Montgomery, 66.5 and a 68.9 pass and run. Tegra, 41.6 pass, 70.6 run. Zen Mahalski, just his 21 snaps, sorry. 80.8 pass blocking, awesome, but 69.9 run blocking. So it's all these guys are like night and day. They do one thing well, pass block or run block, and the other thing they're like mediocre at, you know. And the pressures, Hinsman, that's why Hinsman is getting lost his job. Let's say it that way. Hinsman lost his center job because he allowed 17 pressures right up the freaking gut. Josh Simmons allowed 15, Fryar 13, Donovan Jackson 10. So, yeah. Let those digest for a bit. Might want to get something, a glass of water or something to wash that down with. All right, so let's talk about the position overview here. Jesus, this is going to be a long one. Yes, that's what she said. All right, overview. The Buckeyes returned 4 starters on the O-line. We talked about them. Added Seth McLaughlin from Bama, 2-year starter for the Crimson Tide. Then left tackle and right tackle, Josh Simmons, Josh Fryar started all of 2023. Hinsman is now battling at right guard this season, but right guard's wide open the way it looks. Left guard Donovan Jackson returns for his final year. So the expectations going into spring were that Donovan Jackson and Josh Simmons would anchor the left side of the O-line. The right side is still a work in progress to figure out exactly where everybody else lines up, slots in, whatever. Would Josh Fryar stay at right tackle? Would they move him to right guard? That was on the table early in spring, remember? What was going to happen at center with Hinsman and McLaughlin? I think we've seen that play out. So the expectation was that this would be figured out by the end of spring. So coming out of spring, the Buckeyes are set on the left side, as expected. Donovan Jackson, Josh Simmons, they were better, actually. Defensive line did not abuse everybody on the offense. Justin Fry wanted to see more from the center position, and he wanted to see the competition between McLaughlin and Hinsman, and that might continue into fall camp. If you want to call it a competition, maybe, I don't know. Right guard's where the biggest question is right now. You got sophomore Luke Montgomery. He got plenty of reps at right guard in the spring, and he had his ups and downs, of course. He's a young guy, second-year guy. So now can he learn from the bad reps and be ready to compete for that position in the fall? For now, it looks like Josh Fryar is staying at right tackle. So the biggest surprise was redshirt freshman Austin Sareveld working his way into the backup left guard position. His promotion makes you concerned about the older players and wonder why they got jumped by a second-year guy. But it is good for Sareveld. Typically, players take a few years on the O-line to start contributing, so he's kind of jumped the line there. But maybe some of the veteran backups on the O-line took a step backwards or just haven't improved at all. The question is, what's going to happen with Carson Hinsman? He started 12 games at center as a redshirt freshman. Got benched for the Cotton Bowl for some reason. Still don't know why. We can speculate. But he's a year older, a year more experienced. Where will he end up? He finished the spring game at right guard. He split reps at the 1s and 2s with Seth McLaughlin at center throughout spring. Is he the best option at right guard for the Buckeyes? He's the most experienced of the options. He has the most playing time, just not at right guard, And can he build off of last year? So going forward, Justin Fry and the offensive linemen go back, watch the tape of spring practice, and build off of that. You got Tegra Shabola, Luke Montgomery, Carson Hinsman, George Fitzpatrick. They're all battling for a spot in the 2D. Spring was about the individual growth, the individual players and fundamentals and things. But fall camp is going to be about finding the right five and growing as a cohesive offensive line. And not just the right five, but the right three or four guys behind them. So Chip Kelly said after the spring game, there's no way they're only going to need a starting five over the course of a 16-game season from the offensive line. They will need more than 5 starters. And all the coaches have been saying that at each position group for sure. So the biggest concern is depth behind Josh Simmons at left tackle. What happens if he goes down? It could create a domino effect of moves. Maybe Fryar moves from right to left. Fryar said he's more comfortable on the right side than the left. That's his preference. But is there a second legitimate option ready at left tackle to play right now? No, I would say no. It might be yes by November, but right now nobody's taken that next step. George Fitzpatrick is a redshirt sophomore. Then, he hasn't shown us much. Then Deontay Armstrong, no, you can't put a true freshman out there at left tackle. The easiest answer is probably moving Fryar from right to left over. But then what happens at right tackle, of course? Is that Tegra, Luke, Fitzpatrick? You can't throw a true freshman like Ian Moore in there or Deontay Armstrong. So that's a big question that needs to be answered in fall camp. Um, will we see the entire second team offensive line on the field at one time early in games? It's a great opportunity for the second team O-line to get more experience together. And then how many of them can be trusted? You'll find that shit out real quick. Getting reps in games early wouldn't be a bad idea, especially with these first 3-4 games that are terrible, and we know the Ohio State non-conference schedule should provide plenty of opportunities for inexperienced guys to get real snaps. To finish up here, Justin Fry had a quote on finding his starting five over the spring. He said, quote, I mean, as we grade, you can see the guys that grade well in critical situations. We have put them in third and long situations. We have put them in coming outs, and we have to put them in short yardage. You've got to manufacture enough of those so you can see in critical situations how these guys respond, as opposed to just a controlled rep or drill at one time. Then you just grade those, and then the cream always rises to the top. So you're going to see that, and it's going to shake itself out. So that's the process from the coach. I know Fry's taking a lot of heat, like a fry in a fryer. Wow. Wordplay. Anyway, so that's the typical process for a position coach. So let's see if the development has taken place. If fall camp, the cream rises to the top, we should see that on the field. So, hey, don't forget to visit thebuckeyecast.com. Also, check out the shop below the videos. And if you're listening on podcasts, I appreciate you. I would love a 5-star review or 4, not a 3. I mean, choose a side here. And if you're listening to the entire show, you probably should give me a 5, right? Give me a high 5. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.